Hello everyone and welcome back to My Crafting World. My name is Anna. So I wanted to share with you, I had bought some dies and it's been a minute that I purchased some dies. I wanted to show you, excuse me, I hadn't played with the dies, so I wanted to show you what I've done. These are little shadow box cards, or they've been using them as ornaments, and it's got the hole and all that, so you can hang it. Well, I didn't want to use it as an ornament. I wanted to use them as decoration. And so I just got a paper pad, guys. I got a paper pad from one of my swaps, the last one, which was the egg carton swap. And this is the authentic Imagine paper pad that I used for this. And oh my gosh, I just love that paper pad. And yeah, so let me see if I can't. Well, okay. So I used that for this little frame, and I just thought it came out so cute. I just love it. So they do stand up like that, and I will show you. I'm going to show you how I put these together, because it's a little different than Nicole, which is the designer of these shadow box cards. She designed these, but I do put mine together just a tad bit differently, and I'll show you why. So on this one, I made this one. I have not put anything in there because I'm going to actually put a picture in there and give it away. So on this one, all I did was I put gold on the edges. I put pearls. These are up here on dimensionals, and all this is that foam, that really thick foam, and I'm looking for it. That really thick foam from here it is. That really thick foam sheet from Hobby Lobby. And so, when I don't want the sides to be sticky or anything, I'll use that and then just hot glue that down. So I did pop that up and made it 3-dimensional or 2-dimensional. Well, it's 3 in this case. But anyway, so I put pearls on the inside edge, if you can see that, where the lip of the box is. And oh my gosh, I just love how this turned out. I just love it. So like I said, I made them stand up. So we're going to make one together. Let me move these out of the way. Okay, guys. So this is the die set that I used for the next one that we're going to create together. For these that I made, I used this die. So we're going to use 2 different dies. This one is already created, but you make them the same. So all I've done is cut out my pieces. And this is a negative. You get a couple negatives, and that's okay. I'm going to go with blue this time. So here are all my pieces for the blue. Okay, and that we don't need. Okay, so there is one thing that I do a little differently, that if you're going to use heavy cardstock, that you don't need this next step, but I want these as tabletop decorations or shelf decorations. So what I did was I cut these 2 pieces out of poster board, that thin poster board that I like to use from the Dollar Tree. So I have cut a couple of pieces out with a poster board. And okay, so for this one, if you're going to make it dimensional like this, I suggest you cut out a poster board, a piece of poster board out of this piece as well. So it'll stand up a lot better. It'll be a lot sturdier. So, but I'm not gonna do the 3-dimensional for this one. We're gonna do a regular one. And guys, I'm gonna try to stay in frame because yeah, I tend not to. So I need my scissors. When you cut these out, there is just a little sliver right there that you need to cut. And I cut those once I've put my pieces together. Okay, so all I did was I glued, let me get my glue. I've glued the top and bottom together. So I, try to get the glue as close to the edge as I can. And make sure my glue is not gonna, okay. So I put my glue, okay, come on glue. You worked well. And then all of a sudden you wanna act up like that. Okay, got the glue working. So all I did was put glue all around the edge and try, and like I said, if I don't stay in frame, I am so sorry, guys. It's not easy to do when you're used to pulling things up close to your face. Okay. So I've got glue all around the edges. And then before I actually glue it down, I try to even it up as best as I can. And then press down. You've got just a few seconds, a window of a few seconds to get your piece down evenly. Okay, so my piece is down evenly with the poster board. And this, guys, this is just printed paper. This isn't cardstock. Just because I wanted to go with the blue this time. And I don't have a blue or, a paper pad, cardstock paper pad with blue patterns on it. And I really like this one. So this is going to be a little bit easier. When you're doing one of these, you have to, work at it just a little bit harder because the paper is so thick. Okay, so that's one piece. And here is my next piece. And again, I'm going to do the glue all the way around. And this set, for some reason, has a small piece when you're trying, I'll show it to you here in a minute, that doesn't actually cut out very well. I don't know what, I don't know what it is, but okay. Here's my next piece of paper glued onto my cardstock. You know what? Let's look at that piece together. Okay. There is a piece right here that did it both on the poster board and on the paper. Oh yeah, see, I see that. Like it didn't, the cut line didn't go all the way through. And now I don't know if that's with all of them or this one's just defective. Let me see if I can, yeah, you can see that where it's not connected, but I can't see if it's just defective, yeah, it's just defective. Now I don't know if all of them are like that, so I don't know, guys. I only bought one set. Hopefully it was just this one. Okay, so I've got my back piece on there. There we go. Okay, and I'm pretty sure it's glued on because this is art glitter glue. It dries really quick. So the next thing we do is go ahead and fold your pieces. I should, let me get my score tool. Okay, so I meant bone folder. Take my bone folder and just crease that because it is a little wet and I don't want it to start to bend where it's not supposed to. So I'm going to, I didn't do this with the other one, but this paper is so thin that I noticed it was bending a little bit. Okay, so here we go. And then you bend you crease your sides or your score lines. Okay, so with the cardstock, what I did was, excuse me, I cut off this little piece right here only on the cardstock. I didn't cut it on the poster board because I wanted to make sure that when it did wrap around, it wrapped around securely, you know, kind of tight. And see, it did bend a little bit. So, you know, of course, with the cardstock, it was better. But there we go. Not bad. Okay. So, in the instructions that Nicole has, these little pieces go in like that on the inside, I believe. No, they go on the outside. So, I do put them on the outside. So, put some glue there. She uses tape, and you can use whatever you want. But here, where I'm at, it's sometimes it's really humid, and I want this to stay secure, and I wouldn't want the tape to come off in the middle of, you know, transit or anything. So. Tape the edges together. Okay guys, so I have my box all assembled and ready to go. So the next thing I do is remember I said we had to clip those little corners. So let's clip those little corners, and it just, I mean, it's just total, I mean, really just a tiniest little clip. Okay, and again on this one, we're going to go ahead and fold the score lines down. And we need to be careful so that it doesn't bend, you know, your paper to where it's going to tear. So let me bend all these edges down. Sorry, I forgot I had something going. Okay, so there are all the edges. Okay, in Nicole's tutorial, what you do is you put your box in, and it is just, it fits a little snugger because of the double paper. But you put your box in and you tape these or glue them down. Oh, great. Tape them or glue them down to the outside of your box that you've just made. And that will make it nice and secure. The only thing that I myself don't like is that you can see the edges. That's why on this one I have the ribbon all the way around, because I could see the edges, and that, you know me, I have OCD and that bothers me. So I thought, well, what if I glue it to the outside? Well, what if we put the frame on there? Well, it still does not cover up the entire inside of your box. See that edge? So what I did was I went ahead and glued these flaps to the inside of my box instead of the outside of my box. And it works just as well. You don't see those raw edges, which is what I did here. And the only thing about this is if your front is different than your back, you're going to have just a little, you know, just over 1/8 of an inch showing on the inside. But I don't think that looks bad. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to glue it to the inside of my box. So I go ahead and put glue on all 4 edges. And then I will tell you the easiest thing that I found to hold those edges down was put it on the side of the table. That way you can do it all at once. And, you know, it has to be a square table. And push it down. So let me put this on the inside of my box. Inside, they're all on the inside. Push down on my box for a second. That way the edges adhere to the glue that I have just placed on there. Now, flip it over and you can hold those edges down. Or you can put it on the side of a table. Let's say this is my table. You can put it on the side of your table and push down. Or you can do it with a ruler. That seems to be working just fine. There we go. Or the edge of a ruler, guys. Now, if you're going to do any inking or anything like that, you should do it before you put your pieces together. Okay. Okay, I have my box glued down, and on this one you can actually see the perforated edges here, so I'll probably put some ribbon or just something around there. And okay, so we're not quite done yet. These are, I think it's, you know, nice and secure, and like I said, there is, you can see a little bit of the edge, but when you're looking at it directly, it's not highly visible. But I think it looks pretty. I don't think it looks bad at all. So the next thing we do is we add our decorative piece on the front, which is right here. And that is what is going to give it another dimension. This is where, if you want to add your dimensional tape or your dimensional foam on there, you can add it directly. I added it directly to this frame, and then I went ahead and adhered this to the box. Okay, so I'm good with that glue. And before you place it down, make sure that you've got it centered the best that you can, because this one is paper. It's not going to allow you to move it very much. Up. See, like right there, it's already adhered to the top part. Okay, I think I got it on there pretty evenly. And then you push down on to seal your glue to your paper. All right, here we go, guys. We have one last step to go. Remember I said this is a hanging element, so you can hang it. I don't want to hang these. I want these for the tabletop. So what I did was I cut a strip of poster board, and this is 1.5 inches wide by 4 inches, I believe. Yep, 4 inches tall. If you see the back of these, this is about an inch in, so I can fold it at the 1 inch line. You don't have to be precise. I'm just trying to show you so you can get a general idea. I just eyeballed it. I didn't actually mark anything. So, you know, you fold it at about the 1/2 inch mark, and all I didn't score it. I just folded it. Okay, guys? So, there's that. To make it stand, you need to let it extend about, I guess about 1/2 inch. You need to make sure that's straight. So my fold wasn't straight, but that doesn't matter. This is what matters at the bottom. So I am going to go ahead and take some seam binding, and this is a little more crinkled than I want for my box. So I think this one works better because it's such a straight edge or hard edge. Okay, so this is a little, okay, there we go. That's good enough for me. So you want something you can use, you know, just regular ribbon. I just took this. Okay, you can, it depends on how comfortable you are. I actually hot glued these, but I don't have my hot glue gun on. So I am going to glue this down and glue it down very well, because not that the, you know, your frame is, you know, real heavy or anything, but you want to glue it down well to where it's not going to come off. So you glue it to where you have about 1/2 inch or so at the bottom, okay? It's about 1/2 inch or so. So, and then you glue your top piece down. Just make sure that it extends from the box down or up. The box stays above this line, but this stays above your front frame, okay? So there's that. And then you're going to take your ribbon, and I don't know, maybe this is, I don't know, I just took a piece. I'd say maybe, I don't know, 2-3 inches, just so you can have something to work with. And you take your first piece and you glue that first piece down, I'd say about 1 inch from the bottom. And it doesn't matter if it goes up or down, at least to me it doesn't, because it's not a heavy picture frame. So you glue that down and hold it there for a minute so that it can adhere, you know, start to dry a little bit. So you don't want to pull everything apart before it's dry. Okay guys, let me show you why we're putting this little seam binding there. If you want it to stand and you don't put the seam binding, eventually your back piece, your little easel, if you will, is going to give out, and it is going to go all the way down, and it will not continue to stand correctly. That's why we want to put this little piece on there, okay? So on this side, oh, about 1 inch of space there. So you want about 1 inch. Let's see, let's make sure that's, yeah, you want about 1 inch right here between the easel and the frame. So, and then again, you know, just eyeball it. You want it about the same, you want it about the same spot the other one is at. So that's about the same spot. So I'm putting plenty of glue on there, and then I am going to hold it down until it dries and get a good grip on there. Okay. So I'm going to hold it for a second until it's... Sorry guys, I had to step away for a second. Okay, so this is dried and I have some left over here. And like I said, that's just so that we can get a good grip on it. And I just cut that off. And there you go. You have a picture frame that stands. Okay, I'm going to decorate this a little bit and then I'll be back and I will show you the end result. There you have it guys, all nice and finished. The only thing that I did was I did ink those perforated edges here so they're less visible. And I went ahead and inked around the frame itself. On the top, I took that piece that had come out, you know, the one that cuts out with the die, and I just glued that back in place so it's less visible. And I glued a little bike on there. And this, you can't tell very well, but it's up on foam. It's on a dimensional piece of foam so that when the picture does go in there, it is popped up to the front. And I may even put a piece of foam on the picture itself. But anyway, I hope I've inspired you guys to give something a try. And don't forget to let me know how your project turns out, guys. I will talk to everyone later. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.